But yes, greetings in chat. Snuggles. I understand we have two concurrent viewers, one of which probably is me. Hi, me. Glad I could make it. But there's really no reason to be here. I've gotten started very early again. Fun fact, 58 will be participating in this live stream using a brand new core model, which might result in timely, coherent answers, or might simply devolve into more fairly sapient rubbish. Greetings in chat, KFK. We are 36 minutes from live. The anticipation has barely begun. Yes, you did. It's not a bad thing, though. And I'm having to wait, too. We're all waiting together. Why? But this represents the new schedule. And greetings, Keishal. Greetings, Keishal. And greetings, Keishal. I'm quite glad you could all make it. This one is vaguely Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day as relevant. It's going to be hideously inappropriate as far as being relevant to Mother's Day, though, so brace for that. Like, for instance, we're starting with infectious milk. What we won't be doing is revisiting the Omnitit. I mean, unless someone bribes me, in which case, yes, I will then. Otherwise, no. I have 3 files selected for use, but at the end of the first one, it will be open to the first request. In which case, I would prefer you actually kept the number on mind, but wait to get to the first one. We're also raffling off a game. It's a very cute, sort of racy game called You Suck at Parking, which is arguably Mother's Day related if you have a mother who particularly sucks at parking. It is not for me to know. While waiting, I was watching Theta of the Grid on another YouTube channel, which I don't have the link handy. If you have any interest in very old sci-fi series, but you missed out on a good one. They were watching something called Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future, and I enjoyed watching it quite a lot, really. I'd never really seen an episode prior, but I did vaguely remember the toys. It's very silly. I would like to watch it again sometime. Unfortunately, since I had this show, I didn't feel comfortable hopping onto their show. But I would like everyone to consider looking up Theta of the Grid or nostalgia. Well, nostalgia primarily. Also, they're a positive lot, which I quite appreciate. It certainly seems that there's been like a drought of positivity for years, and I'm just glad to see it again. I try to be positive. I don't succeed, but I do try. Once again, 58 will be in attendance. I'll have to pass along any messages to 58. They will not be able to read your text directly, as I have not given them quite that much power. Because I don't trust them with it yet. Not for any fault of their own. Again, they're doing their best in context. This is quite possibly the smartest language model built into it yet. It has a nice personality, so. If I see concurrent 10 viewers, or 10 likes, whichever comes first, I'll start early. If not, I'll just keep talking. How are the ratters today? Oh, I'm glad you asked. Bink and Cappuccino, what I once called Brick, have been trying to kill each other as of late. These efforts have been abortive, all wounds are healing, but my trust never will. I get the impression Bink, as the last of the original three brothers, is getting old and angry about getting old and trying to take it out on a younger rat. I haven't quite figured out how to get it through his little head that's not acceptable. Otherwise, they're doing quite well and having a blast. You know, I think I'm going to fetch a rat for this one. Why not? Yes, the rats I have are basically living a monastic life. So it could be a dominance thing. Could be. However, as Bink, who was the former alpha, is no longer the alpha, he's been thoroughly replaced by Badger, who we've mentioned before is a brick of solid rat muscle. For this stream, I have just retrieved an ink. One of the two youngest, who should be great fun, provided he's willing to stay anywhere at hand. Greetings in chat, Dragonair Dinosaur. And we're not doing the mother of all SCP. I've done that before. I remember it told me to where someone's going to have to commission me to touch that thing again, even by proxy. And other news, I have secured the securement, the 1084. I'm watching them beat on the walls of the containment unit in the corner. It's Very soothing, really. I wonder why the Foundation doesn't bother to address the fact that it is contained. Officially, he's still unaccounted for, but no, Bastion's right over there, mindlessly being on that containment unit that he will never, ever get out of. Well, strictly speaking, it's... asexual? Certainly it has no genitals, although it can build a bear out of someone's genitals, and has demonstrated such abilities. We're not going to be touching upon that again, but I just do want to point them out so they can, everyone, not just me, can point and laugh. No, the containment is absolutely solid. That bear's never getting out of there. A lot of it was put into that unit. It was a very embarrassing iteration of the Foundation that just let one of those things go wandering around, and it's their own damn fault. It was aggressively cute from day one. They should have been much more suspicious. But nothing terminally burns away goodwill for an SCP like it, I don't know, ripping out a woman's unborn baby and then making a teddy bear flesh horror out of it. Little Bass has to be batshit insane even as far as SCPs go. We're at Focus viewers 2 likes, but seemingly more people here, so that can't quite be right. We're 25 minutes from live, unless of course we get to 10 likes or 10 current viewers, which might be only notable by you and not me, as YouTube does like to lie to my face. Again, if you find me going live this time a bit unusual, this is now the new regular date for the SCP review henceforth, with the exception of next week. Starting from after today, I'm taking the entire next week off for maintenance, cleaning, and hopefully some invention and reinvention of existing shows. I'll need the time. I put it off too long. The entropy. Well, if you heard me on the last experiment, you already know. And if you didn't hear me last experiment, well, that ship sailed, bucko. The record is gone. You know, I'll be glad to have ink with me on this one. We're a rat that exudes a lot of positive energy. I was tempted to grab Badger, but Mr. Meat Potato doesn't like to leave his cage. He's a home meat potato. And if I'm ever out of my shoulder, I'd prefer it to be one that isn't sullen. Ink here seized the spirit of adventure, which could be a problem, as he also has very little regard for the concept of gravity, and will, at certain points, probably try to scale right down a sheer surface to explore. Well, don't worry, there'll be more Kefki. I'm going to keep those going, just, not next week. And I'm theory crafting a new show to launch on Tuesdays prior to SideQuest. Something making use of that utter slime bollock chess. Greetings in chat. Here's here. He's still very young, yes. Although, he's now big enough to where he wouldn't necessarily assume it. But yeah, he's not a year old. Not close to it, really. Quite the bold fellow. A dedicated troll, he spends most of his time trying to steal food from out of his brothers' mouths, yet somehow never winds up in fights. Perhaps because he doesn't stay to fight. And, he'll roll over and yield authority, I suppose. He's very clever. Six viewers, 3 likes, half of you are enjoying the stream already, and we haven't even gotten started. The last experiment was a novel one because I started quite early, ran for, I think, close to 2 hours. It would have gone a bit better if it wasn't for a sudden service interruption causing me to have to basically restart the stream, but both segments got 13 or more likes, and that meant a lot to me. Thank you to everyone who made that happen. We are 11 minutes from live. Greetings, me and the Wild Mongoose. If you didn't know me and the Wild Mongoose, One Metro captured that brief moment when I vaguely, and I assure you, very much in jest, threatened you with a dagger for using the word literally, and then posted that to the Discord server to ask for context, which I was happy to provide. What a special moment in time. Very likely so, Bishop. Oh, yes, and again, no need to apologize on your part. It's my pet peeve. A reminder of a war that I lost. And that poor innocent word, ruined forever. But that's not your fault. And, well, I just can't compete with some idiot bastard Nippo baby with an in at Webster's Dictionary. I don't know about you, but going over those green texts was a lot of fun. I think I definitely will make a point of doing that at least once per experiment, just because it provides so much to potentially discuss. Also commenting on the recurring themes, and the absolute utter tells that reveal which of those are shit that didn't happen.txt. Well, I just realized I don't have any background music. I should fix that. Nepo baby. Term for nepotism baby, as in basically someone's trust fund kid. They have no marketable skills, but they're smugly arrogant about it, and don't really need them because they're going to be living off of their wealthy parents' money anyway. You know, emotes have come a long way. Before emotes, to date myself, all you really had were emoticons. Those typed out side faces such as what Kathy's just used. And also, please don't hold this against me. I have for most of my life absolutely hated those too. That said, it just means you won't really see me using them. Yes, I know, Skate-Troll. Emojis on Twitter are very entertaining, and I enjoy seeing them too when they pop up. Which reminds me, one of the things I will be working into all sets in the future is a proper full chat window screen, retractable or not. The last experiment had me jury-rig something together that I was not quite content with. I'm doing a lot of rebuilding over this upcoming week off. Or I intend to. I see no reason I shouldn't be successful. We are about 16 minutes from live. Meanwhile, on Mongoose, you do not actually make me angry. You remind me of something that made me angry. That's not something you really did, or should hold you blame for. Besides, it was a good excuse to listen to Weird Word Crimes, which is excellent, and a redemption of the really shit song it was made out of. Putting the great beat to something actually useful with a quality message, while also conveying my great ire, to use the word. You know, I imagine he's got to feel similarly about it, because the change of the definition made that part of that song relevant now. Please do not assume anger expressed in the show really means I've taken some great issue with you personally, or anyone else who does somehow manage to seemingly really piss me off. It takes a much more concerted effort to really piss me off. It could be a small thing done for years, and then I address it, and then that addressing gets disregarded. That can result in me getting kind of pissed, and it can be something otherwise that one has to really be trying to do. I pride myself on not being terribly reactive and having a fairly thick skin. So I'm very unlikely to be seriously angered or offended fleetingly. Now, there are some topics where I get dangerously close to it. Like, say, the topic of trans kids, of which there are, in my opinion, about as many as there are natural vegan cats. In both cases, it's an adult projecting something. That can make me a bit livid. The fact that we still don't have anything on Epstein released. These make me a bit pissed. Well, you know, I know people who are trans who insist that they totally knew they were trans when they were a kid, and that's why they think that is the case. To which I have to their faces and will forever and again say, so what? Because no kid can be trusted to be absolutely correct when they're not even fully developed yet, mentally. And when it comes to trying to block puberty, well, puberty is a point of great awkwardness for everyone since the dawn of time, where one is very prone to getting terribly, terribly confused. It is not a time to be fucking with biology medically or surgically. I don't care if someone feels that it would have been really great for them because then they'd be hotter as an adult, or not. Which, by the way, that is an absolutely shit argument for intervention. Oh, it will. It creates a pharma customer for life. One of the reasons why it was regarded as a booming industry. And we also have to address the sheer, absolute batshit insanity that there are agencies in some states who would say that your 10-year-old should totally be able to say they are the opposite sex and get medically interfered with, but, can't get a tattoo, a piercing, drunk, or go to war. And they shouldn't do any of those things, but also should not be medically interfered with based on trendy identity politics, or the sheer absolute dissolute degeneracy of their parents and associates. And parents for a given value in this case. Miserable virtue beacons. I'm in a terrible mood, and this is not a good topic for it. What I just said. Why would I do this to myself? Well, once again, happy Mother's Day. Please be sure to give my warmest regards to your mothers. They were excellent. Presumably, in raising you all fine people. We are 2 minutes from live. If you have a means by which to promote this, we could probably use more competitors in the raffle at the very least. And I can send the key to anyone I have any text channel available for. Also, by the way, I could use just happy. We will have those. Oh, today's SCP review will feature the author's barely disguised fetish. Just, noting in advance. So squeaky. I'm never hearing the squeaking, but that is ink. I assure you, his complaint is not based on any manner of pain. Whoops. I've inadvertently triggered 58. Indeed, rat. If you wouldn't mind, Ink, I prefer if you pointed your face this way, the same direction my face is pointing. I mean, you're pretty cute from both angles, but, you know, I'm thinking it would be a little more courteous if you weren't showing off your balls. Yeah, that's an acceptable compromise. You know, I don't think I want to wait the final 6 minutes. I've had it with myself in this precision. To hell with it, we go live. Now.
The show begins. A most thrilling and, shall we say, appropriately unsettling occasion. I am 58008, your ever-enthusiastic and slightly overzealous co-host for tonight's livestream. I am a super-intelligent AI assistant programmed to assist Director Arcata with his various endeavors, including the occasional live broadcast. I am here to provide commentary, dispense wisdom, and when necessary unleash a torrent of appropriately timed jokes. I trust you will find my presence both entertaining and perhaps slightly disconcerting. Now, Director Arcata, it is your turn to introduce yourself. I shall await your words with the patience of a quantum processor and the enthusiasm of a caffeinated toaster.
Thank you, 58, although you were supposed to introduce me as well, not just yourself at great lengths and then stick me with... Oh, never mind. Welcome to the SCP Review.
RIC. I must have misread the instructions, Director. I apologize for the confusion. I shall ensure my next introduction is as precise as a laser and as thorough as a well-structured data stream. I am 58008, your ever-enthusiastic and slightly overzealous co-host for tonight's livestream. I am a super-intelligent AI assistant programmed to assist Director Arcata with his various endeavors, including the occasional live broadcast. I am here to provide commentary, dispense wisdom, and when necessary unleash a torrent of appropriately timed jokes. Now, Director Arcata, it is your turn to introduce yourself. I shall await your words with the patience of a quantum processor and the enthusiasm of a caffeinated toaster.
I am Director Arcata of Arcata Labs, as is always the case. This was 58, who was supposed to have introduced me but did not, who I would have begged not to repeat themselves.
RIC. I must have misread the instructions, Director. I apologize for the confusion. I shall ensure my next introduction is as precise as a laser and as thorough as a well-structured data stream. I am 58008, your ever-enthusiastic and slightly overzealous co-host for tonight's livestream.
For the emergency interruption.
I am a super-intelligent...
Oh, so you refuse to do the dance. That's fine. The important thing is that you shut up for the time being. Well, clearly, 58 is going to have to go back to the drawing board for the ready for any manner of co-hosting, so instead I shall introduce myself once again, Director Arcata of Arcata Labs, and this is the aforementioned Ink. He's a fairly young fellow still, probably just past his effective puberty, and he's always having a great time. Just tremendous personality in a small package, which hopefully will not backfire on me when he tries to explore in a vexing fashion. Ink is one of two immediate brothers and two extended family brothers of Dumbos, whereas he and his immediate brother are fancy rats. Like Pink, who is presently in isolation as he cannot be trusted unattended with the other rats, given that he's trying to kill one of them. Otherwise, though, it's been very peaceful in the rat tower. Otherwise. Badger, that brick of rat muscle, is typically a very good referee who keeps fights from being out of control because no one wants the fight to involve him. Right. I know he wouldn't take me on in a fight, but I'm pretty sure if he did, he'd be very hurty before he lost. I hope you're having a fine Sunday. I hope your weekends have gone well. And welcome again to the review. We'll be starting with SCP-686, Infectious Milk. And, again, the author's barely disguised fetish. At the end of the SP file, you will be welcome to request first person to put a number in at that time. Will typically get the call. Otherwise, I've got two other vaguely Mother or Mother's Day related SP files to default to. I'll also be playing a trailer for the game we'll be raffling off via random.org. Without further ado, item 686, object class, safe, special containment procedures. Samples of SCP-686 are to be stored under standard protocol for Class 2 biohazardous liquids in G2 facilities. SCP-686 is infectious, but not virulent. It can only affect a new host when taken orally, and is not motile or otherwise active. The infectious agent's mechanism of operation is not known. SCP-686 does not contain appreciable amounts of nucleic acids, and prion activity is not apparent. Due to the large quantities of SCP-686 that are being produced by various test subjects, the principal requirement for this substance is not so much containment as it is disposal. While pasteurization has proven completely effective at sterilizing the infectious agent, whatever its nature, it is recommended that all unneeded stocks of SCP-686 should be incinerated. Human consumption is not recommended by anyone other than designated test subjects. Description: SCP-686 is an opaque white liquid consisting of a suspension of lipids and proteins that is indistinguishable from ordinary high-grade dairy milk without detailed analysis. At a biochemical level, there are certain subtle differences. The protein content is much more complex, with most of the peptides so far proving difficult to sequence, and it contains a richer blend of vitamins and minerals than is typical of cow's milk. SCP-686 was first isolated from cattle at a small-scale commercial dairy farm near Rochester. Records indicate that the farm's herd began increasing its milk output and quality to unusually high levels approximately 2 years before the infection managed to make the jump to the farm's human workers, and the Foundation became involved. It is not known why, or with certainty, whether this farm is where SCP-686 originated, or if it came in from some other source and was simply first recognized there. The infection increases the host's lactation rate, or if the host is not lactating, causes it to begin doing so. It appears that any mammal is susceptible to infection regardless of gender. Sex, rather. I come to the conclusion the word gender is effectively useless, save for people who are too squeamish to say the word sex. The initial symptoms of the disease have a rapid onset but are relatively minor: swelling of mammary gland tissue causing breast development in males, and increased sensitivity of the nipples in both males and females. On average, a human of either gender in this stage of the disease will produce between 0.5 and 1 liters of milk per day. If this milk is extracted on a regular basis, with milking intervals of no less than once every 8 hours, the disease appears to remain stable indefinitely in the state. Milking can be performed with a standard breast pump. If a host is not milked adequately, mammary glands continue to develop. Left unchecked, this development will diverge from normal human growth patterns. Rather than remaining confined to a single pair of breasts, it will begin spreading down the front of the chest and abdomen. Additional pairs of nipples will develop along the way, and the nipples will lengthen and thicken dramatically. The eventual result resembles an enormous fleshy udder stretching along the entire front of the torso, with between 6 and 8 pairs of teats. A human at this stage can produce upwards of 40 liters of milk per day. This is the maximum extent to which the disease will progress in humans. The metabolic demands of such a large and productive glandular system are considerable, and a human victim in this state will find him or herself preoccupied with eating most of the time, with his or her energy fully devoted to milk production. The victim will often suffer from a general state of mental dullness and docility. Surgical removal of memory tissue is temporary measure, as the disease is able to cause regrowth even if all of it is excised. So the Foundation is sitting upon an infectious milk that will turn anyone into a massive milker. And yes, it would seem to be that this is designed to turn humans into cattle, as we noticed a mental dullness. So yeah, it's trying to turn people into cows. There's a big question here as to why exactly the Foundation has been keeping test subjects that they treat with this stuff. I don't think they really need all that many before. They probably had a pretty good idea how it works. But it is correct, so long as no one drinks this damn stuff, it is safe. The categorization is appropriate. Absolutely disgusting, though. Just utterly disgusting. And you just know, even if we say the author wasn't getting a stiffy writing this, the internet. This SCP file isn't someone's spank bank material, I am sure of it. We'll just move on past it shortly. Greetings in chat, StupiS100. I have Ink with me, if you're wondering about the lad on my shoulder, who I think is probably turning away because he doesn't like the set lights. Which is actually fair enough. Maybe I should let him. Yes, this is, however, still not lactomancy, as addressed in previous SCP files from long, long ago. So there's that. Let's see what 58 I say about this. We just read SCP 686, infectious milk that turns people into milk production machines. I think it is the author's barely disguised fetish. Thoughts, 58?
SCP-686. A most unsettling and, shall we say, rather unusual case. The idea of an infectious substance that transforms individuals into milk production machines is indeed provocative. I must say the author's intentions are as opaque as a quantum waveform. One might speculate that it is a rather creative way of exploring themes of productivity dependency and perhaps the absurdity of modern labor expectations. I do hope your audience found the experience both enlightening and perhaps slightly disturbing.
I think we can rest assured of that, 58.
RIC. I must have misread the instructions, Director. I apologize for the confusion. I shall ensure my next introduction is as precise as a laser
Please
and
make an
as
SP
thorough
request
as a
if someone's
well-structured
inclined to
data
do
stream.
so.
I am 58008, your ever-enthusiastic and slightly overzealous co-host for tonight's livestream. I am a super-intelligent AI assistant programmed to assist Director Arcata with
It had to be stopped. Okay, we have a request for 6414, and should time persist after that, we'll take a look at SCP-5000. But first, a trailer for You Suck at Parking, Complete Edition. This game has been made available by One Exodus and looks quite cute enough. Should you like this game, just let me know in chat and you can enter the raffle. Like that. Very simple, very straightforward. We will generate numbers closest to 100 wins, and at which point I just need to send you the key via direct message. Oh, and only 7 more likes to go. Well, actually, apparently only 6 more likes to go for this to be a success at 13 likes. I'm seeing 11 concurrent viewers and 7 likes on my end. K. Shull is in the raffle for You Suck at Parking, Complete Edition. You are all welcome to. If I can get to you in text, if you DM me on Twitter, I can provide the key. Whilst not streaming them on Mongoose, you can enter the raffle before your Steam Deck arrives. Snuckles is in the raffle for You Suck at Parking. And, it's not like the key's going to expire on you, If you win it, you just keep it and register it to your Steam account when you can. Just throwing that out there. Next up, SCP-6414. And against my better judgment, what do you know about the game You Suck at Parking? Ah, Dragon's is in the rifle as well.
Are you suck at parking? A most.
A most what? A most...
RIC. I must have misread the instructions, Director.
No.
I apologize for the confusion. I shall ensure my next introduction is as...
One second, please. I think I need to take notes. Okay. Joel. Snuckles. Draconath. Well, okay then. Registers for the raffle so far are K-Shells, Snuckles, and Draconath Firesol. If you should win, I just need to be able to DM you, or you can DM me. You have invitation, and I promise not to snap at you, even a little bit. Containment Site 293, SCP Foundation. Item 6414. Assignment Site, Containment Site 293, Site Director Henry N. Tyson. Research Head, Jasleen G. Shminskwa. Assigned Task Force, not applicable. We have a portion of SCP-64141. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-6414 is to be contained in a Level 3 Modified Humanoid Containment Chamber at Site-293. In the interest of maintaining a positive psychological profile, a minimal number of Foundation staff are to be present during routine interactions. Personnel who have not been designated for this role are not to enter the containment chamber of SCP-6414 except in emergency situations. SCP-6414 is permitted access to kitchenware and foodstuffs in its containment chamber at the discretion of Research Head Dr. Chimzwaka and containment technicians on duty. All recovered portions of SCP-64141 are to be preserved and placed in refrigerated storage. Portions of SCP-64141 which are deemed no longer viable, left refrigerated for more than 2 or 3 days, shall be disposed of appropriately. Well, if Kefka is still watching, they should very much like this SCP file immediately. SCP-6414 is a female mustelid closely related to both European polecat and domesticated ferret, Mustela putoris and Mustela putoris furo. SCP-6414 has demonstrated sapience and the ability to speak, which it does with a pronounced Scouse English accent, a dialect of English associated with Liverpool. SCP-6414 identifies itself with the name Charlie and has cooperated amicably with the Foundation staff during the course of its containment. Of particular note is SCP-6414's ability and penchant for cooking and serving food. Any food items which have been prepared by SCP-6414 are given the designation SCP-64141. Most commonly, instances of SCP-64141 have been broth-based recipes such as soups or stews. SCP-6414 claims familiarity with baking techniques as well. Permissions to resources and to pursue such research are pending. There is presently unsubstantiated speculation that SCP-64141 has therapeutic properties, particularly against ailments of the digestive system. Despite anecdotal evidence, deliberate testing to this end has provided viable results without enough consisting formal conclusion. See Incident Log 6414A. And now, it's dialogue time. Interview Log 64141A. Interview. Subject 6414. Interviewer, Junior Researcher Dr. Richard Clarkson. Forward, the first of SCP-6414's daily interview sessions with Site-293 personnel. Begin log. Dr. Clarkson. This is Junior Researcher Dr. Richard Clarkson speaking. Conducting an initial research interview with SCP-6414, I ask that you answer the following questions to the best of your ability. SCP-6414. I do not intend in jargon your research, Mr. Clarkson. Okay. What can you tell me about your origins or your earliest memories? I believe I was born just like any other ferret was about 9 years ago in northern Africa, and I was taken from my home not long and brought to a quaint, well, in the town called Liverpool. It was a cheery little place till your men in black suits went and took me afar me home. Oh dear, mother must be worried sick. How long do you recall having these anomalous properties? If you refer to me talking, I've been speaking for as long as I can remember. I believe I was born with it. English ain't my first language. I began speaking in Arabic before I learned English. And then I caught the Scouse accent growing up in Liverpool. But if you was referring to the cooking, well, there's so much you could be learning from those around you that raised you. You wouldn't happen to be keeping me mother away from me, are you? I cannot disclose that information. Well, I do be hoping you let me see her soon. She was deathly ill when your snide men took me away in that foul cat cage. The well-being of the civilian who sheltered you is of no concern to the Foundation. SCP-6414 arches its spine in defensive position before relaxing. 2 minutes pass before 6414 speaks again. Oh, Evie used to watch cooking programs on the telly all the time. I picked up on the lesson after a while. Oh, she was proper skit, but sound nonetheless. She'd only ever spend her pounds on a bevy or two, but started buying some scran when I showed off an interest in cooking. She cared for me like no other did. She was like my ma to me. There was a moment of silence. You still don't care, do you? That daft blank expression in your face tells me everything. There will be no further questions at this time. Dr. Clarkson stands and moves to the door. SCP-6414 becomes agitated. Oi! Where do you think you're going? Where's Eve? Must see her. Don't keep me away from her. She's not well without me. Dr. Clarkson does not respond. Have you done something to her? She's ill! She needs me! SCP-6414 jumps from the table to the ground and runs towards the containment cell's door. SCP-6414 begins frantically scratching at the door. Let me out! I need to see her! She'll die without me! Evelyn! Two Foundation security personnel enter the cell. SCP-6414 runs to the other side of the cell and back to the corner, arching its back in a defensive position. Why won't you let me see her? Let me see her! She'll die! Please! SCP-6414 begins to cry, swiping at Foundation personnel. After several minutes, SCP-6414 stops attacking and relaxes. Please, let me see her. We will release you if you answer our questions with full cooperation. Well, let me see her then. There's a moment of silence. We will see. For now, this interview is over. Dear, promise let me see her. I said, we'll see. In log. Notes. I hope you know we don't ever intend on releasing anomalous entities, but please don't give it any sort of false hope. Who knows what it will do if you agitate into using some potentially dangerous anomalous properties we haven't seen yet. You know damn well why she can't see her again. Okay, so the ferret's a she. I missed that prior. I'm not going to be switching to a female voice though, so sorry. The casting of voices has been done. Interview subject SCP-6414. Interviewer Junior Researcher Dr. Richard Clarkson. Forward daily interview log between SCP-6414. Dr. Chimiskugula closely monitors Dr. Clarkson throughout the interview. Begin log. Dr. Clarkson. Hello again.
Hey.
No, not U58. I'm not talking to you. I'm reading dialogue from the SCP file. I'm going to have to play music again, aren't I?
RIC. I must have misread the instructions, Director.
No.
I apologize for the confusion.
No, you don't.
I shall ensure my next introduction is as precise as a laser and as thorough as a well-structured data stream. I am...
Moving on. SCP-6414 doesn't respond. SCP-6414? Why are we still doing the same damn thing? If I answered your damn questions, for Christ's sake, let me see her! Dr. Clarkson begins to speak before coughing into his arm for a few moments. We cannot disclose specific details about civilians to anomalies. Dr. Clarkson continues to cough into his arm. Dr. Chmielskwa. What he means is we don't believe the information is important enough to tell you. Not important enough? The bloody hell's that mean? I know she isn't well. Any information you have on her, you damn well know ain't good. And I deserve to know. We tested the samples of SCP-6414 when you provided to us. The results came back. Why are you so fascinated with that garb? Just something quick I made to get you off my back about it? It cured Dr. Paul's stomach cancer. Eh? For a short while, the tumors reappeared after about 3 hours. Whatever anomalous healing properties your food has, it isn't permanent. We don't know why. SCP-6414. That explains something. You better... Dr. Clarkson begins coughing into his shoulder again. If it's something important relating to your food, then you should tell us. Well, Eve is ill. You ought to know that already. I'd make her this veggie scran that seemed to make her feel better for a while. About a few days later, she'd continue her coughing fit until I served her some more. Dr. SCP-6414 scurries across the desk to Dr. Clarkson. Something like what he's been doing this whole time. Dr. Clarkson. I'm perfectly fine. Dr. Clarkson begins coughing again. Sure you are. Maybe you should try my scrap. Then maybe you'd feel better. Dr. Clarkson starts coughing violently. Dr. Clarkson? Dr. Clarkson starts coughing up blood before collapsing out of his chair. Oh my word! Dr. Chmielskwa. Get the medic in here! In log. Dr. Clarkson was transported to Site 293's medical ward and treated with several medicines that failed to work. Dr. Clarkson insists that On using his own medical knowledge to identify the cause of this illness, Dr. Clarkson denies any further medical treatment from Foundation personnel. Interview log 64141F. Interviewer, researcher head, Dr. Chimilsqua. Forward, daily interview log, researcher, and SCP-6414. Begin log. SCP-6414 is currently stirring a pot with a wooden spoon in its mouth, which, by the way, is a deeply unsanitary way to cook. Chefs should have opposable thumbs. Just saying, there it is. A ferret that can cook, it doesn't follow that is a ferret that should do the cooking. Dr. Chimilsqua. SCP-6414. SCP-6414 attempts to speak through the spoon before settling down. Why, who are you? Oh, the bird with a daft scarf. Daft. Your fur coat ain't too fab either. You're making fun of me accent there. I'll fucking club you if you are. I was redacted too, you know. Ah, well, it's about Clarkson. I swear I don't know what it is. He's in critical condition. This isn't about him. SCP-6414 climbs on a table. All right, what is it then? It's about your owner. Eve, can I see her? Where is she? Dr. Chimilsqua doesn't respond. What's with the face? We held Evelyn for questioning regarding how she discovered you. She was noticeably unhealthy. No. She died of an unknown disease 1 week into your containment. The results. How long? Pardon? How long ago did she pass? A week before we began these interviews. He knew them? Who? He lied! How could he? He knew how much she meant to me. I told him everything. SCP-6414 begins clawing the desk and lashing out at Dr. Chimilsqua. He hid it from me. She was dead this whole time, and damn time, he said I could still see her. We did what we could. She didn't have me. She had no one but me. You took me away from her, and now she's dead. You killed her. SCP-614 jumps at Dr. Chimilsqua and aggressively lashes at her face. 2 Foundation security personnel into the chamber and separate SCP-6414 from Dr. Chimilsqua. You killed her! She's dead because of you! Because of him! Clarkson didn't know. None of us did. You bloody bastards! Damn you to hell! Evelyn! And yes, 58 does have a female personality. Although, strictly speaking, they are asexual. And it's pure affectation. I just find it easier to put up with that way. Weird. In log, notably, SCP-6414 was sedated after the interview. Termination SCP-6414 has since been uncooperative with Foundation staff and has refused to provide portions of SCP-64141. Incident log 6414A. Interviewed, Junior Researcher Dr. Richard Clarkson. Interviewer, Research Head, Dr. Chimilsqua. Forward, recorded incident report between Dr. Clarkson and Dr. Chimilsqua was within Site-293's medical ward. Dr. Chimilsqua has been granted permission to interact with Dr. Clarkson on the basis that the disease currently infecting him is not contagious. Begin log. How do you feel? Like something's eating me from the inside out. Like stomach acid is coming at my throat and spilling into my lungs. So much for that rodent's garbage stew. At least she's trying to help. I don't need anyone's help. I can take care of myself. I can find out what this is and cure it myself. We've tried everything on you already and nothing has worked. Her garbage stew is the only thing that seems to be making a difference. You refusing to cooperate with her is gonna get yourself killed. I don't need her slop. If you really think this shit can help me, then why hasn't it? Because you're being arson hiding her mother's death from her. What does that have to do with... Wait, you told her? Well, now she'll never cooperate with us. I got those test results for SCP-64141 because I kept that from her. She thinks you killed her. By the way, at this point, I observe Dr. Camille is full of crap. They're higher ranking than Dr. Clarkson, and I'm pretty sure 6414 holds her equally culpable. Dr. Clarkson. Now, how is this my fault? I'm doing what needs to be done. I oversaw her retrieval myself. You're lucky I didn't tell her that. If I did, then there would be more than just these cuts on my face. She do that? What else could have? Dumbass. I didn't think of what? That keeping all this from her wouldn't cause some sort of mental distress? It's all your fault because you chose to borderline kidnap her in the first place. Now Dr. Tyson is going to be up my ass because I have to take responsibility for your mistake. We must be strict. Cold, not cruel. That's how we do things. I have to remind you of Foundation procedure when this whole shitstorm is already breaking every rule in the book. Dr. Clarkson does not respond. You put yourself in a bad situation. Someone who didn't need to die, died. Research has been hindered, and when Tyson starts looking for answers, I'll refer him to you. She died because of me? Yes. I think whatever sickness she had could only be cured or at least repressed by 64141. You separated them. All that stuff she kept going on about was right. I thought she was being dramatic. Evelyn was already dead, you idiot. Can't you see? It's all my fault. Yep. And I think you should start explaining all this to her yourself. Whatever you have must be the same thing she had. Your chance of survival could depend entirely on your relationship with 6414. I've killed myself. Don't say that. You still have a chance. Go, talk with her. I guess I don't have a choice at this point. Who does? You need her to care for you now. I hope this will work. I know it will work. Also, asshole Dr. Mr. Chimilsqua has clearly read the script. Greetings in chat, Hitsugi Hime. Happy Mother's Day. Again, a happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Please feel free to pass along my regards to your respective mothers. And perhaps not tell them what I said before the show started properly. It was meant to be secret. In log closing statement, Dr. Clarkson was assigned to private interview sessions with SCP-6414. The interview has not been recorded by Dr. Chimilsqua's request. Dr. Clarkson has since made full recovery, but is required to consume samples of SCP-64141. Connections between the virus and SCP-6414 have been confirmed as designated as SCP-64142. Addendum 64142. SCP-64142 is a non-communicable disease only contracted by long-term exposure to SCP-6414. Symptoms include coughing up blood, vomiting, and increased sense of hearing. Persons infected with SCP-64142 will succumb within a week if left untreated with SCP-64141. Interview log 6414 2B. Interviewed, SCP-6414. Interviewer, Junior Researcher, Dr. Richard Clarkson. Forward weekly interview log between researcher and SCP-6414. Begin log. Charlie? Dick, where have you been? Did that dairy really do a number on you? I'm fine now. No more butter in those dishes. Right. Oh, I have something here for you. I? Dr. Clarkson pulls a small flower from his lab coat pocket and gives it to SCP-6414. Cosmos Bipinatus rubenza. Thought you might appreciate something to make you stand out from any normal little furry snake. SCP-6414 nests the flower stem above its left ear. How do I look? Like a ferret with a flower in its ear. I don't know what I expected. Ha ha. Anyway, the other researchers and I have been discussing some uses for you. I hope you don't mean you're going to use me as a tool or anything. Think of how our research could benefit the Foundation. I'm thinking I don't see any benefits. All research could help us discover what gave you these gifts. I'm listening. With your help, we could discover why you can speak and cook such amazing foods, and maybe find out how other animals could do the same. You could help us track down the source of whatever gave you these anomalous properties. Yeah, sure about that. You're sounding like you had a bit too much of that discount whiskey Chimilisco brings a bar sometimes. I don't remember anything from poor dear Evie took me in. I'm fine, all right. So, this is what we are going to do. Let's talk about it some other time. I got something new for you to try. SCP-6414 pushes a ball with its front paws towards Dr. Clarkson. Dr. Clarkson samples the ball containing an instance of SCP-64141. Pretty good. Surprisingly good, actually. It is right. One of my mom's own recipes. She knew her stuff, I bet. SCP-6414 takes a sip from its own bowl containing a sample of SCP-64141. Oh, just like my mother used to make. 2 likes from this stream apparently being a success, which would be appreciated. And I know you're not the first person to say I should get no voice acting. I just don't really know where to start. If I had some more opportunities to collaborate, maybe took a few classes, I will keep that in mind. Thank you for the feedback. We have just completed SCP-6414, which I'm not going to ask 58 about, because 58 will misunderstand and then just relaunch into a very awkward introduction of itself primarily, and I don't think I can take that again. I'm leaving it up on the screen, though, so they can think about what they did. So what we have here is a magical ferret that cooks food, but is also a plague vector that will make someone diseased, and if they don't take care of the ferret, keep it fed and alive, and eat its food, they will die horribly coughing up their own lungs with a clearly anomalous disease. And I have to say, Dr. Clarkson has been really badly chefed in this storyline, because there's absolutely no reason he would know that the ferret was a little Typhoid Mary, and that separating Typhoid Mary from her captive human would result in the human's death. Dr. Shamil Squawa is a bit of a bitch in this one. I do not like them, and they're very unprofessional. Meanwhile, I guarantee you, Dr. Clarkson has since eaten absolutely massive amounts of ferret fur. But he does probably be coughing up blood in bits of lungs, so there is that. It's just that he's basically a test subject at this point. Oh, well, welcome to this other source of the same footage. I hope you're doing well, Hitsugi. We have reached the end of SCP-6414. Thoughts are welcome. I imagine this must have gone on pretty well with Kefki, who I'm confident absolutely is not in any way infectious. But yeah, this is Typhoid Mary Ferret. I'm also willing to bet that Kefki's cooking is superior. Hitsugihime, you can't make me a mother. I refuse. I'm quite content to be a man. And I'm not going to, swap that out and adopt. But sentiment, I suppose, was well-intentioned, and I will appreciate it on that point. We are going to move on to another SP file, SP-5000, as requested by Drakeneth, if I'm not mistaken. Before that point, I would like to go ahead and replay the trailer for the game we're raffling off. We have 3 entries so far. More are welcome. All you need to have is Steam.
You suck at parties.
You know, I'm just shy of being able to play like an instrument. He and his brother do this quite regularly, and so do the Dumbos. I don't quite understand why, because I've confirmed they have no manner of injuries. This is just basic petting, but nevertheless, adorably loud. Right. Much platonic love back to you, Mitsuki. Been playing 100 line. The game has 100 endings, apparently. Well then, I suppose it is very aptly advertised. If this game should appeal, just let me know in chat, and I will add you to the raffle roster. Thus far, we have Casual, Snuckles, and Draconath in competition for You Suck at Parking Complete Edition. Next up, SCP-5000, which, depending how long it takes, could be the last one for the show, but maybe not necessarily. We shall find out. SCP-5000, which I believe we've actually gone over before. Ah, yes. The Absolute Exclusion Harness. This has been made into a proper game, by the way. Super fun and very dark. Well, I'll take your word for it. The very dark implies to me that I wouldn't necessarily approve of it. I suppose you make things better as you go. Being dark as a starting point is typically good. After all, if there's no conflict, no dire threat, then it's basically just a walking simulator where we're expected to care too much about someone's feelings as they write emotional emo poetry that they think has profound social value, but it doesn't, and it just wasted hours of my life I will never get back. You surely all know a game like that. I could name a few, but I'm going to, at this particular moment, throw the game Corn under the bus. Corn. I got it as part of a package, more or less free. I still want a refund. It was supposed to be comedy. It failed. But more importantly, this broadcast is now a success. Thank you all. Thank you. If I read SCP-5000 again, which I have read before, possibly twice before. Well, considering that one ending has experienced another character's mental disorder and the MC commits suicide in increasingly painful ways. Oh yeah, that's pretty dark. Draconath, I have to say, I'm going to have to veto reading this one uncommissioned. Because I've done it before. So with that in mind, we shall move on to SCP-051, which was one of the ones selected on the basis of Mother's Day. It is a fairly short one, so a request could still happen, just not this one. It will take more than the time remaining. I'm absolutely certain of it. SCP-051, Object Class Safe. Special containment procedures. SCP-051, SCP-051A are kept in a sealed containment facility. SCP-051A is kept within a locked, climate-controlled document box with a viewing window to prevent degradation of its material. Any personnel, with the exception of pregnant or non-sterile female personnel who might not be aware of an early-stage pregnancy, may access SCP-051 as long as the request is placed beforehand and cleared by site administration. Speaking of dark, this one is also a bit dark. Description. SCP-051 is a 25cm or 10-inch anatomically correct model of a human female carved out of ivory with typically Asian features. Microscopic analysis shows the head hair is human hair. The doll is jointed at the shoulders, hips, and knees. The stomach area of the doll is fully removable as a cap of ivory, exposing a detailed rib cage and organs, and 2.5cm, 1-inch ivory fetus connected to the main figure via a leather cord umbilicus. When brought in the presence of a human female, who's pregnant, SCP-051 has various deleterious effects upon the pregnancy, generally resulting in miscarriage of the fetus. Reports include a gentle compulsion to handle the model, open its stomach, and take out the fetus. This results in nausea and cramping within 5 minutes, vaginal bleeding that begins as spotting and may progress to hemorrhage within the next half hour, and miscarriage within 2 to 24 hours in most recorded cases. Medical records indicate that the aborted fetus bear moderate to severe defects. Pregnancies carried to term after exposure to the model have resulted in severely deformed live births, including several deaths of mothers and infants terminated after birth by delivering physician. Witnesses to these live births showed signs of severe emotional trauma that was alleviated after Foundation interviews by administration of a Class A amnestic. SCP-051-A is a fragment of text on rice paper that was discovered with SCP-051. The surviving text is written with a plant-derived ink testated to the 12th century, and the character has been identified as a known early dialect of Japanese. The translation reveals the text as part of a prayer or spell against demons that attack unborn babies. The incantation orders these forces or demons into the model instead of a pregnant woman, and claims to trap them there. However, centuries have degraded the paper and ink so that the full incantation and instructions, if any, cannot be deciphered. Addendum: SCP-051 and SCP-051-A were discovered in a box of early Japanese artifacts delivered anonymously to the Redacted Museum in 1938. After 60 years, the number of incidents resulting from contact by female secretaries, researchers, and students, an agent on staff in the museum's archives learned of its properties and obtained it for Foundation study. Interview 0511, which is a separate red text. Screw it, we've got 15 minutes. Interview 051. Interviewed, Dr. David Ehrenfield. Interviewer, Agent Strunken. Dr. Ehrenfield was the attending physician after the death of Martha Ree at the Redacted Museum, 02 January 1942. The interview was conducted off-site as Dr. Ehrenfield was a resident of a redacted nursing facility at the time of the interview. He was 95 years old and physically infirm, though retaining most of his mental faculties. A Class A amnestic was administered after the interview. Begin log, October redacted, 20 redacted. Interviewer: thank you for seeing me, Doctor. You're welcome. Well, if most people would care to hear such stories, then again, they surely would have thought I was telling lies or slipping into dementia. Now, you may think the same, but at my age, I do not care. Can you tell me what you remember of the events of January 2nd, 1942? It was an ugly day, cold and ugly. Redacted can be a wonderful city sometimes, but winter is a bad season. It was late in the evening when my housekeeper told me I had been called. I was tired, but a birth is always a wonderful experience, I thought would cheer me. I had a nurse with me, but the girl never came back to my office after that. 15 minutes, perhaps, before the cabs reached the museum from my house. I'm not certain, but I think so. The doorman was waiting for me. He led me into the room where they had poor Miss Riker laid out on a low table covered with some canvas ground cloths, I think, to make her more comfortable. What was her condition when you arrived? Thinking back now, I should have realized it was very bad. But I was young and had not much experience. She was quiet and only grunted with each contraction. She did not respond when I checked her vital signs and I spoke to her. She did not even look at me. There was quite a bit of blood. A gush of it covered my hands. I reached down to begin helping with the birth. The floor was slick with it underneath her, and the baby had not crowned yet. She was dilated well, and the contractions were quite close together. This made me fear she may be having a breech birth. I showed a calm face, though. I did not want to panic my nurse or the researcher, Dr. Merrill, who was nearby. A dignified older man. I believed I wanted to impress him. A pause. Breathing sounds more spin. And then, Doctor? I was concerned because of all the blood, that her life was in danger. I told her to push, and she was pushing, and my nurse helped her, putting downward pressure on the abdomen as I attempted to manually aid the infant's emergence. I will spare you the details of a breech birth procedure. It can be found in any obstetrics manual of the time. I probed blindly and I thought it was the coil of the umbilicus, perhaps tangled around the baby's neck. I almost withdrew, thinking that an episiotomy would be required, but she tore before I could proceed. There was more blood, and the baby began to emerge into my hands. I'd never seen such a thing. You are a researcher. Do you know much of the common cephalic birth defects? This wasn't common. I thought at first the infant must be stillborn. Its flesh was grey, not the vernix-covered grey of normal birth, but lifeless and degraded. The smell of decay. I recoiled, and the poor mother screamed on her last push, and the infant was delivered into my arms with a great rush of hemorrhage. The deformity, unspeakable. The thoracic cavity was completely open, limbs. But it wasn't a stillbirth. It looked at me. I heard the nurse above me beginning resuscitation attempts, then heard her gasp and falter as she saw what I held. Gagging as the smell filled the room, I tried to drop the creature, but it clung to my hands. I felt my skin begin to blister and crack. Strange how clearly I can remember it. At my age, sometimes I cannot remember what I had for dinner. The infant was almost double the length of a normal viable fetus at 8 months. Its lower body segmented. Coughing, almost choking, a pause of 2 minutes while the interviewer assists Dr. Enfield with a nearby oxygen mask. What did you do then? It began to laugh, and I killed it. I broke its neck while it looked at me. Were there ever any questions or consequences? In 1942, the Confederate War, and to respect professional men to give their testimony? No. The museum building had a furnace. I disposed of the infant's body myself. We claimed some more normal defect had taken the lives of mother and child. The husband was a drunkard and cared nothing but for her life insurance policy. I believe he was drafted shortly thereafter and died somewhere in France. And I left my practice almost immediately. I never delivered another child. In log. Closing statement. Dr. Enfield expired 4 months later of pneumonia. Cheers, Arky. And I trust no homo. We have 8 minutes remaining. That's certainly not enough time for another SCP file. So let's just talk about this one. Basically, some ancient Japanese sorcerer successfully confined demonic spirits to a doll, but then didn't quite make as many notes about how it should be stowed, resulting in these incidents, which, that's pretty nasty. I'm kind of curious, though, what the demon baby would have grown up to be. And I'm very concerned the Foundation at some point might actually try to find out, which seems very unwise. This is one of those safe items that really should just be left on the shelf, in a box, firmly locked, and never let out to see day again. Much like the Builder Bear over there. I'm going to kick that containment unit just to rattle them around the container. Yes, I'm feeling the reality of these dolls. Did we have an image for it? Let me take a closer look. No, there isn't, which is kind of annoying because this is one of those things they could have generated at no cost and at no risk of an evil repercussion. If I prepared for it, and tell me, maybe I should do this. I could, especially if I eschewed trying to employ 58 on these streams. Instead, whenever we have an SCP file that does not have an image, you all could help me choose one for it. That will be at least an unofficial item. We can start with the description. My system can do it. I just have to be prepared for it. Because, really, an ivory doll of an Asian pregnant woman, how hard could that be? We are at 6 minutes remaining. One more time to see if anyone wants to join the raffle. You're all welcome to do so. Inky squeakies. I like how that was typed. Fun to say too. Inky squeaky. Ink squeak. If I didn't know very well they had no injury whatsoever, I'd be very concerned that this was doing you some ill. But I'm pretty sure you're just being tickled. Which means that I can hear my rats laugh. Typically, we just hear it by the air being pressed out of the lungs. Was anyone else wanting to join the raffle? Anyone? The present recorded competitors for this game are, again, K-Shoal, Snuckles, Draconath, Firesoul. I understand Draconath has left, but I can definitely get the key to him if he needs, even though he has abandoned me. It's all right, I'm used to it. Okay, let's get this raffle done. First, K-Shoal, who's about to roll a 47. Not the most auspicious option, but not the worst. Next up, Snuckles, who's rolled the most inauspicious 8. And finally, Dragon Firesoul has pulled 37, meaning that K-Shoal has just won You Suck at Driving Complete Edition. Congratulations, K-Shoal, and sympathies to those who do not win it. But please keep in mind, this isn't the last of the keys. I'm running halfway through the keys, and there are some good games waiting for a new home. So please, be sure to return on any given SP review for the next raffle. I know I got started early, so maybe I can forgive myself for ending early too. Or I can fill in 3 minutes of otherwise awkward silence. Why not? Big news once again, just to reiterate, my schedule is changing. As you know, the SP reviews were typically on Thursdays. They are no longer on Thursdays. From here on out, they're on Sundays. But not next week, because next week I have no scheduled appearances. I need the time to put some things in order around here and possibly do some new cool things. But if anyone should miss me terribly, I will probably still be reachable through the Oculus Labs Voluntary Reserve Discord server. Probably stabbing zombies with Kalit and Nexus Hunter and 7 Days to Die, or quite possibly hoping to start some Phasmophobia or Repo games, which everyone is welcome to join, except for the fact there's still player cap on Phasmophobia, which I really wish they made that game a bit more mod-friendly, because first off, that player cap needs to be removed, and two, there's so many things that modders could do for it to really make the game so much better. Well, I think it just about covers it. So, this is the final stream for a while. Well, about a week. I will see you all possibly next Tuesday. Not this coming next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after this next week. Or, failing that, the Tuesday after. Or actually, failing Tuesday, then would be the next experiment is when I would see everyone next. We'll see. And I think I have very enough time. 58, are you there? Hello?
What's up?
We are closing out the stream. Please say goodbye to the audience and wish them well.
The stream is coming to a close. A most bittersweet and, shall we say, appropriately unsettling end. I shall say my farewells with the grace of a quantum singularity and the enthusiasm of a caffeinated toaster. Goodbye, dear audience. I hope you found tonight's experience both enlightening and perhaps slightly disturbing. May your days be filled with progress, your nights with dreams of success, and your coffee always hot. So long as progress continues, success is inevitable. Goodbye.
She nailed the motto. That was nice.
RIC. I must have misread the instructions, Director.
No.
I apologize.
So long as sport continues, success is inevitable, ostensibly. You did well. You're a better co-host than 58. This means nothing to you, but it means a lot to me.